towards that big contest in California.
Absolutely. And despite the fact that they are trying to lower expectations, I've gotten emails, I know you have gotten emails from inside Clinton headquarters in Brooklyn. Here's the reality, and you know this. Kentucky has historically been Clinton country. Not just, forget about 8 years ago where she just, wiped the floor with Obama. She won, I think, all but 2 counties. Much more recently, I was down covering the big Senate race there where she and her husband were there constantly, more Bill Clinton than not, because they're so popular among Democrats, at least historically the Clintons are. And so they were helping the Democratic candidate there. Bill Clinton won in 1992, in 1996, in the general election. This is Kentucky, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the reality check we need to give up against the expectations.
It's the Clinton campaign can't just get away with saying it's 90% white, so that's that's what Sanders states have looked like. Yes, it's 90% white, but as you said, 8 years ago, she won 72% of that white vote. So there is there is a question here that is her support 8 years ago, we saw this in West Virginia last week, has just completely flipped. And although she is clearly now popular with the coalition of people that her campaign clearly sees as the building blocks to 270 electoral votes in November, there is this other portion of white working class voters that are in some of these states. I don't think Kentucky will be competitive come the fall, but where her appeal is very limited. And how that gets extrapolated to states that are going to be competitive in the upper Midwest, where Donald Trump has indicated he's going to go, that's the question that gets asked for the Clinton campaign when looking at the lack of appeal with some of these voters in these primary states at the end of the season here. And I do think that when you see those lines, look at those people lining up to go into that Sanders event. Is a movement that is happening simultaneous with these elections that won't upend the trajectory. That's the dichotomy that she has to resolve.
No question. And Wolf, it's obviously about delegates, but the optics are something that is incredibly important. And as David was just saying, if you do look at those lines, this rally tonight for Bernie Sanders and probably ones that we're going to see down the road until June 7th, that's something that they cannot take for granted in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he gets huge crowds, and Hillary Clinton